Today, Friday, April 22. You wanna see what I see? Oh boy. You see something weird? This is what you see over there. It's the wrist pin. The wrist pin is supposed to be there. It's supposed to be with a piston. Oh boy. Oh boy. Let's remove the oil pump. Remove this section here down to see what we have to deal with. Did I mention that the engine seized? Did I? Okay, the plug is there. Okay. Oh boy. I don't want to say something about that. It's not tuned from us. We didn't install this turbos. It's from another place. There was some trouble with the boosting. It was over boosting the car, and as far as I know, he was have a middle RPMs detonations somewhere at 4,000 RPMs. That this is where you get the super knock, between 3 and 4,500, somewhere there. So let's open the oil pump to see how it looks like inside. That's the oil pump down here. I'm not mentioning what car is that. I'm not mentioning what kind of color of this car, because I don't know if the owner he wants to point it. I'm just showing you an engine and one wrist pin in the oil pan. Dang it. Removing the oil pickup tube and the plastic tubes that has here, the oil return for the turbos that goes to the secondary pump, the suction. Okay. When I opened this, it came out the wrist pin. That's how it looks like, the wrist pin, the pickup tube, and the rest of the tubes. Alright. And then I removed some oil from the oil pan. And you have these things. What you see here: oil control ring, the spring of the oil control ring here. This looks like the top piston ring over there. I just removed the gloves, I don't want to come full of oil. And this is the piston. What the same. Okay. I see here the block that it's broken at this point, and I guess that the problem is located here on the second cylinder. Looks like. Yesterday the guys opened for me this spark plugs, because they see so much oil from this side, but a catastrophic failure would happen from this bank. Let's get the camera to see inside. I saw this crack here and I was thinking that was from this bank, but I was wrong. It's from that bank. It's from the bank that they opened the guys. So you see there the connection rod. Alright, and then you see the piece of the connection of the piston, it's there. You see through the camera what you see here, it's a small end of the connector rod. That's the small end of the connector rod. And that's the remaining piston. And on the cylinder next to this cylinder, I'm talking about now, not this one, I'm talking about here, some shrapnels they hit the piston obviously, and they hit also the cylinder at the same time. Dang it, it's a bit difficult. Now this is the other side. Yeah, definitely needs sleeves, definitely has some cracks. And definitely the piston explode. So what you do in this case, need to be open to see with what we have to deal with. Need to be stripped off, at least to remove the cylinder head and this part, actually all the block, complete the block. You're supposed to don't be able to see the connecting nut like that. Alright, depends who you're asking. Alright, yeah, like you can see the small end of the connector from there. Yay, there you go. The funny thing is that if you watch the half piston, it stay there. Why? Because I put yesterday the camera and has only oil inside the cylinder. Let me show you. Let me put inside from the spark plug hole here to show you what I mean. Before we open the oil pan, whoa, you're gonna fall down with one hand. How you gonna do it? Right? Okay. Let's put that inside, just to see inside the cylinder how it looks like. Because yesterday when I watched it, whoops, I haven't thrown down the camera up to now. I don't know. I'm lucky, probably. Alright, you watch that. I will have to watch so that to put inside the camera. Yeah. Okay. How lovely. Which cylinder was the fluted one? Was the number one? What did I watch yesterday? I watched one cylinder yesterday. I was busy. Okay, that's my excuse. I came and I watched only one cylinder. The one that has the more oil. I believe I checked the first one from this side. Anyhow, it's not changing anything. Yeah, I check this cylinder that has so much oil down. And I was thinking that it melt a piston, it crack a piston. And that's why I said continue opening it to see what's going on. So now if you jump here on the second cylinder, what do you see there? Just a second. Yeah, the valves, it's the last thing that I'm thinking. That's what you see. You see the spring for the oil control ring, you see the piston from down. Yeah, nice. That's it. I don't know if we're gonna get away with just leaving the block, because I don't know how much damage has the block itself. I'm talking about the crack. It's not good that has here, obviously, and any other marks on the block. Need to be stripped off and see if you can save something. If you can sleeve it actually, because the cylinders forget it. That's it. That's the connecting rod. There. There you have connecting rod and piston. Let's come apart. And if you put the camera inside through the spark plug hole, you can see the disaster. Okay, over and out. What over and out? Give me a minute. See out the story now. Alright, for the cylinders we can sleeve it, alright? There's no problem. What about the engine block? What about the cylinder head? When they come back, the guys, I'm gonna put them to drain the coolant, because to be able to remove the oil pump, I have to remove the upper piece of the oil pan, okay? So, then need to remove this coolant pipe, if you like, call it as you like, this one and this one, to have an access here, to remove the bolts, because there is also another bolt for the oil pump inside here. I'm gonna make another video, okay, I'm gonna make a second part, no worries. And now at this point, that's the end for that. The worst case scenario, you're gonna have a healthy cylinder head, only one cylinder head to be healthy. That's the worst case scenario. Best case scenario, the crankshaft to be okay, the cylinder head to be okay, and to get away only with the sleeves, pistons and connecting rods. Everybody happy. But again, if you have middle range RPMs, detonations or pre-ignitions, let us say if it was not the stock pistons and was have upgrade pistons with an aftermarket connecting rods, aftermarket pistons, what will gonna happen? It's gonna destroy the connecting rod bearing. The upper bearing of the connecting rod, in this sense in the side bearing, you're gonna destroy it, and then you're gonna start it in the crankshaft. Again, you're not gonna get away. If it doesn't fail, let us say the piston, you're gonna fail something else. With the aftermarket pistons, you're not gonna destroy all the block. You're not gonna have fragments. You're not gonna be like that. It's different. Let us say if you can measure the torque that produce this piston. Let us say that somehow you arrange to don't explode the piston, right? If you manage to measure this torque, you're gonna be equivalent to 2,000 horsepower, let us say, or even more, for the pressures that it raise up inside of the combustion chamber. If it was better, let us say, the piston, what's gonna happen? You're gonna lift up the cylinder head, or you're gonna burn the head gasket. You're gonna have different failure. Again, lambda 1 at 1 bar of boost with a 8 degrees ignition timing, example, alright, I'm not a tuner, I'm just giving you an example. You have some pressures inside the combustion chamber that it can hold the piston, it can hold everything, and it's gonna run fine. Lambda 1 at 2 bar pressure boost, I'm talking about, it's gonna create much more pressures after the explosion, after the burning of the gases, of the petrol inside. You cannot keep this. I mean, it's like you throw a bomb inside of the cylinder. It's the same thing actually. It's all about pressures, to maintain proper pressures. That's why you have also the variable, that's why you have the boost, that's why you have the ignition timing, that's why you have the multiple fuel injection, to manage the explosion, to manage the pressures inside the combustion chamber. Yeah. And again, I doubt that if you're talking about super knock, because that's what you see over here, that's why it exploded like this, the piston, it didn't have a chance. You don't have not even a millisecond. I mean, it doesn't matter what is gonna happen, what kind of ECU you're gonna have. I doubt that you're gonna be able to manage such a thing, especially if you don't have a tune. Because I think that they told me that it's not been tuned. They installed the turbo grade, but it's not been tuned. I might be wrong. And with external waste gate, it's not, the ECU cannot protect you, because you're gonna start raising the boost, let us say. Under some cases, maybe you're gonna get away once, twice, 3 times. The 4th time, you're not gonna get away. That's my point. That's my opinion, actually, not point. Yeah, that's my opinion. Like I said, when the guys they drain for me the coolant and we continue opening it, I'm gonna make the second part. That's it. Now that's the end. Thank you.